Hey awesome people! I'm Susanna Gonzalez, a relationship counselor and coach and specialized in sensitivity, and fascinated by neurobiology and human behavior. If you're someone who feels deeply, thinks a lot, and wants real connection, you're in the right place. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. In today's video, we're diving into a question that many sensitive and intuitive people ask themselves. How do I know if someone is truly right for me? Or, can our relationship really work, or are we too different? And have you ever found yourself overthinking someone's words or behavior? Wondering if it is just your sensitivity or a real red flag? Do you sometimes feel too emotional in love, or maybe like your needs are just too much? Relationships are complex, and when you're highly sensitive or emotionally aware, that complexity can feel overwhelming. But it doesn't have to be like that. As a relationship counselor, I help individuals and couples gain clarity, cure old patterns, and create emotionally fulfilling relationships grounded in both empathy and neuroscience. If you're single and want to make better choices in love, if you're in a relationship and struggling to communicate or reconnect, or if you're married but feel lost, stuck, or distant, you're warmly invited to explore coaching with me. You'll find all the links below to connect. Now, let's begin today's video. What if love wasn't just a romantic story, but a chemical, ancient dance happening deep inside your brain? Today I want to take you on a very different journey through love, desire, and human connection. Not from fantasy, but from science. From the skin, the cells, and the chemistry behind what we call attraction. You may have felt it, that inexplicable pull towards someone. A magnetic force, a rush, butterflies in your stomach, sometimes warm, other times overwhelming. It feels magical, but it's also biological. In this episode, we'll dive into what neuroscience tells us about how we fall in love, how attraction works, and how our brains, yes, our beautifully complex brains, are wired for bonding, desire, and even reproduction. We'll explore the roles of dopamine, oxytocin, testosterone, and vasopressin, the molecules of pleasure, love, and attachment. We'll talk about pheromones, about early childhood bonding patterns, about why we're drawn to certain people and not others, and why sometimes the people we desire the most are also the ones who feel emotionally unsafe. This is a soft, sensual, and scientifically grounded exploration designed especially for sensitive hearts and deep souls. So if you identify as a highly sensitive person, or simply feel deeply, this space is for you. Make yourself a warm drink, put on your headphones, and let's begin this journey of body, brain, and heart. Have you ever felt completely intoxicated just by someone's presence, as if your brain was dancing in ecstasy at the mere thought of them? Well, it kind of is. When we feel attraction, especially romantic attraction, a series of chemical reactions flood our brain and body. Let's start with a familiar one, dopamine. Dopamine is often called the pleasure molecule. It gives us that rush, that feeling of excitement and anticipation. The more unpredictable or uncertain a connection feels in the beginning, the more dopamine is released. It's the same system that lights up when we eat chocolate, or check our phones for messages. But this time, it's not chocolate. It's them. Then there's oxytocin, often known as the bonding hormone or the love hormone. This is the one that kicks in when we touch, cuddle, or even have eye contact. Oxytocin makes us feel safe, connected, like this person is home. It's deeply tied to long-term bonding and emotional intimacy. For highly sensitive people, oxytocin release can be more intense and lasting. Then we have norepinephrine, which gives us the racing heart, the butterflies, the sweaty palms. It sharpens our attention and heightens arousal. That combination of excitement and nervousness, that's norepinephrine doing its thing. Let's not forget serotonin, the happiness chemical. But here's a twist: when we fall in love, serotonin actually drops. Studies show that serotonin levels in people in early romantic stages resemble those with obsessive-compulsive tendencies. That's why we can't stop thinking about them. It's not obsession. It's biology. And finally, Endorphins, our natural painkillers. They make us feel calm, secure, euphoric. Endorphins are also why long-term relationships can feel like emotional comfort food. Predictable, yes, but deeply nourishing. All of these chemicals interact in complex ways. They don't just shape how we feel, they shape how we behave. They influence how we flirt, how we attach, how we desire. Attraction isn't just in the heart, it's deeply rooted in the brain. So, when you feel that spark, that pull, that deep craving for someone's presence, it's not just romance. It's neurochemistry. You walk into a room, and your eyes catch someone's gaze. You don't know why, but something clicks. You feel drawn, intrigued, pulled. What's happening beneath the surface? Much of human attraction operates on a level that bypasses conscious thought. We're not always aware of the signals we're sending or receiving, but our brains are constantly decoding them. Let's talk about a few of these hidden messages. The ones shaped by evolution to help us choose, or be chosen. Let's start with body language. Subtle gestures like the tilt of the head, the direction of our feet, the way we mirror someone's posture, these are unconscious cues of interest. They're pre-verbal. In fact, research suggests that up to 93% of communication is nonverbal. That little spark you feel, it might be in how they stand, or how they look at you, not just what they say. Then there's facial symmetry. Studies across cultures show that symmetrical faces are often rated as more attractive. Why? Because symmetry is believed to be a marker of genetic health. It's our brain's way of saying, this might be a good mate. But it's not just about symmetry, it's also about expression. A warm smile, relaxed eyes, emotional resonance, these tell us we're safe. Let's not forget the voice. The tone, pitch, and rhythm of someone's voice can trigger attraction. Deeper voices in men, and melodic voices in women, are often perceived as more attractive, but even more powerful is vocal synchrony. When two people naturally begin to match each other's tempo, volume, or even breathing patterns during conversation. That's chemistry, literally syncing. And then we have pheromones, those invisible chemicals we emit through sweat and skin that can influence attraction on a primal level. While human pheromones are still a controversial topic in science, studies suggest that we can unconsciously detect genetic compatibility through scent. It's why we might be drawn to someone's natural body smell, or turned off without knowing why. But here's something fascinating for highly sensitive people. Because of our heightened sensory awareness, we might pick up on more of these signals, more smells, more micro-expressions, more energetic subtleties. This can make attraction feel overwhelming, intense, or even spiritual. It's not too much. It's deeply attuned perception. Attraction, in many ways, is nature's matchmaking algorithm. It whispers ancient instructions through smell, gaze, sound, and posture. And even when we think we're choosing with our mind, our body often chooses first. Attraction isn't just about chemistry or biology, it's also about memory, about the blueprint of love we carry inside us, often without even realizing it. Every experience we've had in early life, every hug, every absence, every moment of comfort or disconnection shapes the way we relate to others. And when we meet someone new, our nervous system checks, does this feel familiar, safe, or dangerous? This is the world of attachment. Attachment theory, originally developed by John Bowlby and later expanded by Mary Ainsworth, describes how the bond between a child and caregiver forms the foundation for emotional development. And this early bond influences how we experience intimacy, trust, and connection as adults. There are 4 main attachment styles. Secure attachment. These individuals tend to feel safe in relationships. They can express their needs and respect others. They're not afraid of closeness, nor independence. Anxious attachment. These people crave closeness, but fear abandonment. They might become hypervigilant, reading too much into silence, or needing constant reassurance. Avoidant attachment. These individuals may seem independent, but they often suppress emotional needs. Closeness can feel suffocating. so they distance themselves to feel safe. Disorganized attachment, often a result of trauma. This style combines both anxious and avoidant patterns. There's a push-pull dynamic. Wanting love, but fearing it. Now, why does this matter for attraction? Because our attachment system gets activated when we feel emotionally drawn to someone. The early blueprint wakes up. And suddenly, we're not just reacting to the person in front of us, we're reacting to what they awaken in us. Sometimes, we feel irresistibly pulled to someone not because they're right, but because they mirror a familiar pattern. They remind our nervous system of an old emotional script. Even if that script was painful. This is called repetition compulsion, the unconscious drive to recreate familiar dynamics in the hope of a different outcome. Highly sensitive people may experience this even more intensely. Because we process emotions so deeply, our early imprints are vivid. And the longing to feel safe, seen, and soothed runs deep. We might fall fast, or fear falling at all. But here's the good news: awareness brings freedom. When we understand our attachment style, we can begin to notice the patterns that shape our choices. We can learn to pause, to reflect, to ask, is this love, or is this familiar pain disguised as love? Healing attachment wounds doesn't mean we never feel triggered. It means we recognize when we are, and respond with compassion, rather than reaction. It means we choose partners who nourish our nervous system, rather than recreate our wounds. True attraction isn't just magnetic, it's also safe. And safety can be incredibly sexy. Falling in love isn't just a feeling, it's a full-body experience. A cascade of chemicals. A symphony of hormones whispering, stay close. This matters. Let's talk about the neurochemical love cocktail, the invisible messengers that shape our emotions. Attraction and attachment. When we're drawn to someone, the brain releases a wave of dopamine, the reward neurotransmitter. It creates that euphoric high, the butterflies, the sense of anticipation. Just thinking about the person can give us a rush, like a hit of something addictive. But dopamine doesn't work alone. Norepinephrine joins the party, increasing focus, energy, and even making us lose our appetite or sleep. It's that electric buzz when you're obsessed, when your body says, pay attention. This could be important. Then comes oxytocin, the bonding hormone. It's released during touch, eye contact, hugs, and intimacy. Oxytocin creates feelings of trust and connection. It's what makes us feel safe. It's also released during orgasm, childbirth, and breastfeeding, any moment of deep bonding. Another player is vasopressin, which is associated with pair bonding and monogamy, especially in men. It strengthens the drive to stay with a partner, to protect the connection. And don't forget serotonin, which regulates mood and anxiety. Ironically, serotonin levels can drop during the early stages of romantic love. This may explain the obsessive thoughts and emotional roller coasters. So when we fall in love, we're really bathing in a powerful neurochemical brew. And for highly sensitive people, who feel everything intensely, this cocktail can be overwhelming or intoxicating. But here's where it gets fascinating. Our hormonal response is influenced by who we're attracted to. Some research shows that people release more oxytocin when they're with someone they trust or feel emotionally connected to. In other words, love doesn't just happen to us, it grows in the space between us. Also, how our bodies process these chemicals varies. For example, people with insecure attachment might have lower baseline levels of oxytocin or respond differently to bonding cues. Trauma can alter the brain's chemistry, affecting how much love we allow in, or how safe we feel being close to someone. And it's not just about falling in love, it's about staying in love. Over time, dopamine levels naturally decrease. The butterflies fade. But oxytocin and vasopressin can keep growing, deepening the bond. That's why emotional intimacy, safety, and shared experiences matter more and more as the relationship matures. You see, passion might light the match, but bonding is what keeps the fire warm. And understanding these biological layers doesn't ruin the magic, it reveals how magical we really are. We're not weak for wanting closeness. We're wired for it. And when we honor our nervous system, when we choose love that feels safe, our chemistry becomes an ally, not a trap. Because real connection isn't just about the spark, it's about what happens after the spark catches fire. Have you ever felt instantly drawn to someone and had no idea why? As if your body recognized something before your mind could name it. Attraction is not just about hormones or looks. Sometimes, what pulls us is deeper, older, hidden in our emotional history. As humans, we're wired to seek what feels familiar. Not always what's good for us, what's familiar. This is called repetition compulsion in psychology. It means we're often unconsciously drawn to people who echo the dynamics of our early relationships. If you grew up with a parent who was emotionally distant, critical, or inconsistent, your nervous system might now associate love with unpredictability or anxiety. So when you meet someone who activates those same feelings, you may mistake it for chemistry, for passion, for the one. But really, your body might be saying, "This feels familiar. This is what love used to feel like." It's not your fault. We are born to bond. And when those early bonds were painful or inconsistent, the mind and body try to recreate the story, hoping this time it will end differently. That's the unconscious part. The invisible compass pulling us toward certain people. This is especially powerful for highly sensitive people, who notice patterns, emotional shifts, and subtle dynamics. You may find yourself sensing others' wounds or feeling magnetically pulled to help, heal, or merge. But if you're not careful, your sensitivity becomes entanglement. That's why the question isn't just, "Why do I like this person?" but rather, "What does this person awaken in me? Does this feel like love, or survival?" There's nothing wrong with being drawn to someone who mirrors your story. Many of our deepest connections begin this way. But the key is awareness. When you know your patterns, you can pause. You can ask, "Am I choosing this because it's familiar or because it's safe? Is this connection soothing my nervous system or spiking it? Do I feel more like myself with this person or less?" Sometimes, attraction is the body remembering. Sometimes it's longing. Sometimes it's the soul saying, "Here's another chance to heal this." But healing doesn't happen by losing ourselves in others. It happens when we choose partners who reflect back our worth, not our wounds. It might feel slower, quieter, but it brings clarity, not confusion, peace, not panic, expansion, not contraction. And this is where the sensitive heart shines, because you can feel the difference. You can feel when it's love, and when it's a lesson, when it's someone who sees your light, or someone who only resonates with your shadows. The more we come home to ourselves, the less we confuse intensity with intimacy. And that's when attraction becomes a gift, not a trap. So now you know, attraction isn't just chance. It's chemistry, yes, but also memory, biology, wounds, dreams. It's your past whispering into your present. It's your nervous system scanning for signals. It's your heart hoping for resonance. And for those of us who feel deeply, who sense everything, attraction can feel overwhelming, like an invisible current pulling you somewhere, before you even know where you're going. But here's the truth, you don't have to go where it leads. You get to choose. You can pause. You can listen. You can say, "Yes, I feel this, and still, I get to decide if it's right for me." That's the quiet revolution of the sensitive person. We don't need to harden our hearts or shut down our intuition. We need to bring it with us into love, into dating, into intimacy with awareness. You can be soft and discerning. You can be open and boundaried. You can feel deeply and still walk away from what doesn't serve you. Because the future of love is not about power, or performance, or perfection. It's about presence. It's about emotional safety. It's about nervous system regulation. And yes, it's about compatibility at every level: physical, emotional, intellectual, spiritual. And for the highly sensitive, this kind of love is not a luxury, it's a necessity. We can't thrive in chaos. We can't fake chemistry where there's no emotional depth. We can't survive in relationships that don't respect our inner world. So we're not too much. We're not too emotional. We're not too complicated. We're just built for deeper things. So if you've ever asked yourself, why am I so affected by this? Why can't I just play the game like others do? Why do I fall hard and deep, or not at all? It's because your heart was never made for shallow waters. You were made for presence. For truth. For love that nourishes. Not